Hey yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Andy. All right, I'm gonna be starting my New York sports channel here on YouTube. All right, also on TikTok. All right. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be breaking down baseball, football, basketball. I'm a New York Mets fan. I'm a heavy New York Knicks fan. And as far as football, I got no team. I got no affiliation there, but I love the sport. I do bet on all three sports. Occasionally, we can dip. We'll dabble in that as well. I'll give you my opinions on some of the games day to day, or even just futures, which I really like to talk about futures. So I do listen to WFAN a lot. I mean, I live in New York. That is the number one sports station in New York. So I will piggyback and also just talk about some of the things that they talk about on that station. I get a lot of my information from WFAN. To be quite honest with you, these days, having a wife and a kid, I don't typically watch the sports games as much as I used to watch the sports games. So I don't have MSG package. I don't have SNY package. So that means I'm not watching every Knicks game. I'm not watching every Yankee game. I'm not watching every Mets game. And you can just think, the networks for that, because I subscribe to YouTube TV. So YouTube TV, I used to have New York Mets, and then they took SNY off. And I don't think they ever had MSG, so I really haven't watched Knicks games on a nightly basis like that. So, look, I don't really have time to watch all the games like I used to. So it kind of works out. I'm saving some money. I don't really have time to watch the games, but you better believe the Knicks game. If the Knicks game is on ESPN or if they're on TNT, I'm glued to it. And otherwise, I'm listening to it. I'm listening to it on the radio. I'm a big radio guy. I listen, like I said, WFAN I'm very heavily influenced by that station. I listen to all of them. Boomer, Giannotti. I like those two guys. The only thing about Boomer, I mean, he gets crazy political. Like, he just can't help himself, but it is what it is. What do you call it? Evan. Been listening to Evan for such a long time. I mean, I've been listening to that station for probably 20 years. I've been listening to that station. And Evan's one of the guys I grew up on. I like him. He's a bit nerdy. He's a bit crazy, wacky, but I do like him. Joe Benigno, I know he's not on there consistently these days, but yeah, I'm heavily influenced by him as well. I know some of the new guys that came on over the last, few years or so. Tiki, he grew on me. I like Tiki. I don't really care for Sal Licata and Brandon Tierney. Those two guys are the biggest hyperbolic guys I've ever seen in my life. I mean, they blow everything out of proportion. I mean, I guess they have to do it. There's not much for them to really talk about, especially during their time of day when they're talking sports. I mean, they must not have much to talk about because all they do is just blow things out of proportion from day to day. And also Mike Francesa. I know he's not on WFN anymore, but he does have a podcast, and I listen to Mike. Mike is my type of guy. Mike, I mean, he can get crazy, he can scream, he can yell, but Mike Francesa is he stays pretty much level-headed, low-key. He don't get too crazy, and that's kind of what I like about him. So if he is going nuts, if he is going off, there's something really going on in the sports world when he starts, bugging out. And sometimes he does bug out, but, it's not all the time in which he does that. So that's how come I really like Mike. All right. So just getting into some of the sports, let me just break it down real quick. Like I said, I'm a Knicks fan. Knicks is headed in the right direction. I mean, we have plenty of time to break it down, but I love everything they've been doing. The re-signings of OG, Mikal Bridges, never thought they would be able to get that. That's a big-time free agent signing. And of course, it's unfortunate that we lost Hartenstein. But you can't keep them all. You really just can't. You can't keep them all. I mean, this is part of the business. So it's gonna fall really on Mitchell Robinson, which I'm scared to say that. Mitchell Robinson is someone that I actually advocated for them to trade prior to giving him his contract, and not because I don't like him. I mean, Mitchell Robinson's a really good player. It's just that you can't depend on him. I mean, I feel like you could have given him the injury label, the injury tag 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, he was always getting hurt off the weirdest things. You have somebody like that long, that lanky, and he does look athletic, but he has a little bit of quirkiness to him, the way he moves, the way he moves on the floor. So that's how come he gets hurt off of like the smallest, freakiest things. Like he could step the wrong way and get hurt, land the wrong way, he gets hurt. His arm flails the wrong way, he gets hurt. So I expect him to miss games this year for sure, which means that, I mean, I don't know if we have any answers as far as getting any other type of player in here, but to me, it's Achua and Jericho Sims. Yeah, I said his name, Jericho Sims. All right, like the guy's been on the team for what, 3 or 4 years now. We drafted him. He looks freakishly athletic if you ever see him really play, and I know, to get into Tibbs, like for Tibbs to trust you, you're really gonna have to play defense and like just play balls out. And I just don't see why he can't do that. So I'm really expecting the Knicks to rely on him on this year, and I really believe if they really want to have at least be the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, I think Jericho Sims is gonna have to play a part in that. Just the bottom line. All right. As far as the Mets go, just a weird season for the Mets. They started off like kind of slow, and then they got a little hot. Then they went on then they just looked like they were going absolutely nowhere. Because you know what, when your major players start off slow every single year, that's what's gonna happen. I mean, Lindor just doesn't really play baseball in April and May. I mean, it's the bottom line. And it didn't help that Nimmo wasn't playing well. The young catcher was hurt. And then you got Pete Alonso, who's just on a contract year. It's a lot of pressure. So, I mean, am I surprised that he's not, living up to it? I mean, I'm not surprised, really. I mean, he got the home runs. The power is there. It's just that he's just not hitting consistently enough, But anyways, if the other guys do what they're supposed to do, which is what they've been doing for the last month or so, then what Pete Alonso gives that team is amazing. All right? So basically, the New York Mets heading in the right direction. We all know the bullpen is the weakness. They're going to have to shore that up. I know they made a couple moves so far, but the trade deadline coming up soon, I mean, they might have to do something else, right? A lot more, because every time the bullpen comes in, it's just only a matter of time, all right? What else we got going on? Okay, so then we got the football, all right? And I love football. Like I said, I don't have a football team, but of course, because I live in New York, I hear a lot about the Jets. I hear a lot about the New York Giants, all right? So the New York Jets and the New York Giants, Jets got more expectations, of course. When you got Aaron Rodgers, so you're going to have those expectations. I know he's an old guy. I know he only played like 15 seconds of football, but, if your guy's healthy, and with all the supplemental pieces the Jets got, with the running back, the wide receiver, I mean, the offensive line needs to. I mean, I hope they had improved the offensive line. They made a couple of decent moves. They got I can't think of that offensive lineman's name off the top of my head, but the Dallas Cowboys veteran who he went to multiple Pro Bowls. I know he's a little older now, but if he can still play top-notch football, I mean, they really improved that offensive line, and it's pretty much what they needed. I mean, particularly for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Breece Hall is good. I think he just runs behind any offensive line. The way he just see a tiny hole and burst right through it. So they're good on that aspect. And then the defense is solid. So the defense is good. You got everything. You just got to stay. You just got to be lucky with Aaron Rodgers. It really is about luck, because I don't know if the guy can stay healthy. I mean, I really don't know. He's coming off an Achilles injury. I mean, I know he kind of have his ways, and he speaks a good, he talks a good one, but who knows, right, with him. So, and then the New York Giants, they look like they're building really a good roster. It's just that quarterback position is just it's gonna haunt them, And I'm telling you, the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I hear Dallas Cowboys fans, they trash Dak Prescott a lot. I think the guy is underappreciated. I know he hasn't won a lot of playoff games, and some franchises really determine their success by what they do in the playoffs. I mean, that's kind of unrealistic to me. In most sports, well, I say, let's talk about the major 3 sports: baseball, football, let's not count basketball. Basketball is not so much of a crapshoot. However, it's becoming more of a crapshoot these days, because who would have thought the Dallas Mavericks would have made it to the finals, right? I mean, that the Western Conference was wide open, especially when Denver Nuggets got knocked out. So coming into next year, I mean, are we so sure the the Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks is gonna meet again, or like really it's open. So this is the most open I've ever seen in the NBA. But definitely in baseball and football, you just got to make it to the playoffs, and usually, anything really can happen. Now I know football, it's really mostly dominated by the team with the best QB. All right, and this is why Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he gives you the best shot. Once he's in the playoffs, he gives you the best shot to win. I mean, we all understand that. But there are other very good quarterbacks, and to be honest with you, the Ravens was very, very close to knocking them out. I mean, Zay Flowers, wonderful rookie, great rookie year. I mean, he holds on to that football going into the end zone, and we don't, it could be a different story. So in those sports, you just got to get in, and you just hope the ball bounces your way at that point. You hope you get hot defensive line, and just a QB who's in the rhythm. You know what I mean? And then if you and if you can get all that going, you can find yourself winning the championship. So really, the Jets just got to get in, and then and see what they can make happen. Giants is a little longer away because they don't have the QB, but Dak Prescott would be a great addition if the Dallas Cowboys want to move from him. They talk bad about him, but the guy wins in the regular season. He wins in the regular season. And if you keep making it to the playoffs, you just give yourself that opportunity to try to win a championship. And that's really all you can ask for, because if you're not in the playoffs, then you can't win the Super Bowl. All right? So next video, I'm going to go over the futures of the NFL. I'm going to go over the division odds and see who has the best chance of winning each division. All right, and I'll also do some under and overs with some teams that I like based on like their win totals. All right, so if you like this video, just tune in for some more. All right, I'll be here going forward. All right, it's your boy Andy. Peace, guys.